Welcome to another edition of Entrepreneurs in Fuego, where we're documenting the journey of entrepreneurs, one digital footprint at a time. This is really special for me because you are the storyteller's storyteller. With me, I have Mr. Gene Kernan, and you are. And unfortunately, we just have a limited amount of space to hear you. But I've been looking forward all week to hear some of the stories that you've said and that you've told me in your journey as an entrepreneur. Gene, how you doing, my man?
I'm starting to get worried.
You see what I'm saying?
You just scared me, dude.
Tell us what you do, man.
I run PhoenixDayandNight.com and Local Motive Marketing, offering local businesses in Phoenix. And by local, I mean local small businesses, not what the SBA means, which is 500,000 or less, and making online advertising and mobile marketing available to them, scaled to fit their needs and their budget.
And you've been in some kind of marketing or sales capacity for most of your life.
I have. I spent 20 years doing sales and telemarketing, and then I spent 20 years as a paralegal, which, by the way, is still sales. And then I decided to embark on this.
One of the things that I believe in just talking to you that, aside from being a master salesman, you are a storyteller. You love telling stories.
I do. I do love telling stories. And at 2061 years old, or 2041 years old rather, because I'm staying in my 20s, so cut that 2061 part. I'm 2041, okay? I have amassed a few stories.
What's the one that comes to mind from an entrepreneur point of view? What's the one story that you kind of just retell and retell because it kind of just stuck with you?
Actually, this particular story is one that you haven't heard before.
Go ahead.
There was a point back in 1980 when the economy was much in the same kind of shambles it's in now, and you couldn't buy a job. I happened to be back in Rochester, New York at the time. My wife was pregnant, and you couldn't buy a job. But I knew how to sell on the telephone, and I knew how to publish little newspapers, little tabloids. So I went and got a roll of dimes. And
a roll of dimes?
A roll of dimes.
Okay.
$10, roll of dimes, right? And I went into a phone booth, and I pulled out the yellow pages, and I started calling people and selling ads in a publication that I ended up publishing. I started a business on a roll of dimes and a phone booth.
What did it take to start that business? Just creativity?
Knowing that it could be done. I don't know what else to say. I had no other choice. So desperation, maybe that's what it took. I needed money. I needed to be able to support my family. So I took what skills I had and I put them to use the best way I could. I didn't even have a telephone at the time.
So that's where you had the roll of dimes.
I literally had to get the roll of dimes, do this out of a phone booth. I sold some ads. I went out and picked up some checks, get some ad copy that people wanted to put in this publication that I was going to publish, and I ended up publishing it. And then I went to the bank, and that's a whole different story. I opened up the account, and then I called the phone company and said, I need you to install a phone.
You are certainly one person who had the courage to do that. Entrepreneurs that are watching this program, that are listening to the podcast of this program as well, what advice would you give them? Or let me put it this way, before you answer that question, does everybody, or can anybody become an entrepreneur? Can you teach somebody to be an entrepreneur, or do you have to have it innate? Because I mean, it sounds to me like you were an entrepreneur since the day you were born. Can you teach somebody entrepreneurship, Jim?
Everybody is. Anybody can do this. Anybody. Okay? Did you not start a lemonade stand when you were a kid? Or go mow lawns for people? That's entrepreneurship. Maybe you read the ad in the back of the comic book about how you can sell this to your neighbors, and went out and tried it and sold a couple of them. We're all natural entrepreneurs. This is part of the human condition. We get trained to not think of ourselves as such. We get trained to follow this path, become the good employee. In my generation, the paradigm was, you go to school,
right.
You get a good job with a good company, you do your 30 years, you get your gold watch and your pension. That paradigm died 20 years ago. That paradigm no longer exists. So if anybody has an idea, if you've got a dream, pursue it. Because you're the only one that will pursue your dream.
And if you fail, what happens? How did you deal with failure? Let me ask you that question.
I'm going to answer that question the same way that Edison answered the question that, how many times did you fail in inventing the light bulb? The legend is that it took 1,000 tries for him to invent the light bulb. And his response to that was, I've never failed. I found 1,000 ways that it wouldn't work. So get back up. See, the difference between success and failure is you don't fail until you give up. As long as you get up one more time than you get knocked down, you're still not a failure.
It's not important, the failure itself. What is important is what you do with that failure and to get up.
There are lessons to be learned. Every time there are lessons to be learned.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just, for example, the website.
Yeah.
I am in the process of working toward converting the website as it exists right now to a WordPress format, because that'll serve the purposes that I created it for better. It'll serve me better. It'll serve the people that I want to help better, which is to help small and local businesses. Okay? But as it exists right now, I built PhoenixDayAndNight.com in Notepad. Now, for any of you that don't know what Notepad is, it's your most basic program. I didn't use an HTML editor. I didn't use an HTML editor because I don't know HTML. I still don't know how to code. I just did it because I had the motivation to. So I created this website. I destroyed it several times. And then I taught myself how to fix it. At first, it took months to figure out how to make what I destroyed come back into being. Now I can destroy it and have it back up in like 5 minutes.
What fuels your passion, my dear friend? What gets you going every morning?
What gets me going in the morning? I really don't know how to answer that, Francisco. Okay?
There's got to be something
at this point,
fueling your
at
fire.
this point, here's where my passion lies at the moment. I got tired of people that I did business with being gone the next time I went there. I got tired of business friends, neighbors, losing their businesses, their homes, sometimes their families. And I was especially tired of it when I kept hearing about the marvelous economic recovery we were having. The Safeway moved out of the shopping center near my house. How bad does it have to be for a Safeway to move out of the neighborhood? And yet, I read an article one day that the DC region, where all the defense contractors have their headquarters, is the wealthiest region in the country. We can't count on them anymore. We have to help us.
Yeah.
I have to help you, you have to help me, we have to help everybody else. And that's how the website came into being, because it doesn't cost much to run a website. It doesn't cost much to host it. So if Joe's Auto Repair really couldn't afford to advertise, I could put him on there with a free ad. I don't want to do that forever, but if that helps him stay in business one more week, one more month, one more year, absolutely, not a problem. Now, eventually, of course, I wanted to actually be a business and, be able to feed my alligators. But the bottom line is, I started this for the purpose of being a local, helping local businesses, the mom and pops,
Right.
promote the local economy. Let's make the money flow here
There you go.
between us.
There you go. Best advice you got?
Keep getting up.
I love it. Keep getting up, baby.
Keep getting up.
And just because of that, my dear friend, I'm going to give you a beautiful T-shirt. No, this is mine. I'm gonna give you one that is having you. Don't you worry about it, because I saw you looking at me like, wait a minute, I don't want to wear your T-shirt. But this is a T-shirt for Peaceful Soul, and Peaceful Soul is kind of the virtues of entrepreneurs. We've interviewed several dozen of entrepreneurs, and we'll come back to the same virtues or values, which are simplicity, discipline, humility, kindness, and honesty. And so this T-shirt will remind you of all those things, because you, my friend, you have all those values, all those virtues, and you're my man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? So one day, I'm just gonna have one like 5-hour show with, as told by Mr. Kernan, because
you will be in deep trouble.
Because you've got some amazing stories, man, and for you that are watching this video and want to hear more stories about this man right here, you got to come to the office. Pile, contact me. There's a little phone number that comes right underneath here, and we'll put you in touch. You're the storyteller, man.
Take care, man.
Thank you.
My brother.
I appreciate it.
And
we're out.